Gavin told me one dude made 14 grand on his first one, and he was like 3 weeks into the business, period. Like, had no idea what he was doing. What up, y'all? Y'all hear me good? Someone?
Can you hear me good?
Thank you. I can hear you, bro. And I see you. You know what's good? I can even smell how good you smell from here. And most of them don't know that. It's funny, some of the things I share, and people are like, dude, I just want to be on here and learn about fucking annuities. Can we get to that? And I
We
just
will
talk.
soon enough.
We'll get there for those of the
There's Amanda.
yeah. So for those that don't know, Amanda runs the show behind the scenes. But then Reese was just like, turn the camera off and back on. And it worked perfect. It's like the ultimate reboot. I'm over here panicked. And they're like, dipshit, just turn it off and back on. I mean, it would have been like, yeah, shut up. You know, any of y'all overcomplicate things like annuity sales? I know you don't overcomplicate that, John. Yeah,
No.
like we all have that piece to us, I think. And I can definitely overcomplicate stuff. And they get on me a good bit for the things I overcomplicate. But then that's why I just try to stick what I'm really good at.
Yeah.
And eventually hire people to do the rest of the stuff. So we'll get to this. Appreciate you getting on, dude. And for those that are joining us, I don't know how many were on the last call where we went over some of this stuff. So we'll give a little brief overview before we dive in. And certainly you can pipe in wherever you see fit here, John.
Sure.
I don't know if Amanda can they see both of us, Amanda?
Yes.
No, just
I only see me for somehow. I don't know why.
I pinned you guys.
Cool. As
Did
long as
you?
they're good.
My annuity thing.
Say again. I
no.
thought someone was asking me a question. So anyway, so here's the deal. We're putting together this boot camp. It's going to be, our goal is to do this every other week. And we want to keep doing it that way as long as y'all continue to have participation, that you continue to bring issues, clients, things to learn. We're gonna break this thing up to where every call or Zoom that we do of this, the goal will be to teach something new, yet we're going to progress and dive deeper each Zoom. So it's like, it'll always be good for new people because we're going to cover high level stuff. But then the more of them that you attend, we're going to dive deeper on specific items. We're going to open this thing up to questions. For those of you that are having maybe issues or scenarios, or like, hey, you want to run some stuff by us, we're gonna go down that road. We're gonna actually have shortly in a few minutes. We're gonna have a few people on that have already, just based on the couple calls we've done or worked with myself or John in the past, have used this platform to identify, find, and sell annuities when they've never done it before. I think Gavin told me one dude made 14 grand on his first one, and he was like 3 weeks into the business, period. Like, had no idea what he was doing. Certainly John helped him write that one. They did a split on it.
I know a little bit of stuff.
Hey, can you mute them, Amanda? I don't know what's happening, but I keep hearing people. And then my understanding is found like $2.2 million we're having conversations with clients about already, like on his own.
Yeah.
You know, and the goal for this thing is to certainly teach you guys how to do stuff. We have a program available for those that are like, hey, I want help, to where John will get on with the client, with you on a Zoom, teach you how to do it, close the deal with you, and give you half the commission. We've already had some people doing that since the insiders call we did a week or two ago. And, you know, I don't know our volume now, but I think, what are we doing a annuity volume this year, Amanda? Like, it was like 50 million or some obnoxious. It was a pretty decent number. 50 million in our group. Gavin's got hundreds of millions in annuity business he's done over the years, whether directly on his own or partnering with other people. And we're going to start to dive into all of this stuff. If you want to cover, John, any of the kind of high level things you plan on covering today, and then I'll let you get into some of the testimonial stuff, but anything you want to do as far as introduction to this thing would be dope.
Sure. And for those of you that don't know who I am or heard any of my backstory, the reason why I focus on annuities so much because it's the only reason I'm in the business. I when I first came in, I could sell insurance, but not all of it stayed on the books. And I'd never worked in a business before. We had made money and then had to give it back a short time later. And I saw somebody got paid on an annuity, and it was a big one. So they got paid 60,000 or something like that. And I knew that, that kind of money, or even a quarter of that would change my life from where I was at. Because I was broke when I first got into this business, flat broke. And so I focused on the annuity side of things. Um, I wanted to get that check. I kind of understood how they worked a little bit. I went through all these, I went to and through and listened to all these different trainings on annuities. And I got really bad at it. And I was able to find money. I was able to set the appointments, and I was able to screw it all up because I just took so much information and and I just overwhelmed the clients. And I didn't do them any service. I didn't do myself any service. I think I was 0 for 9 or 0 for 13 if you count the cancellations on my first 13 appointments that I had. And still at the same time, I'm seeing people close them, get paid on them, and help their clients outside of me. And so I just knew there had to be a different way from what I was doing. And then that was just dumbing it down. I just dumbed it down, and I got rid of, okay, I'm not going to talk about that because I didn't really understand that. I'm not going to talk about that because I didn't really understand that. And then so when I narrowed it down to just a handful of things, I actually was only covering the things that the clients were concerned with. And so I got rid of all the things that I thought were important or I thought I needed to explain to them that was confusing people.
Yeah.
And just really dumbed it down, and it got to be really easy for me. My closing ratio went up. My clients were happy, and then I found that by doing it in such a simple way and understanding how simple these products really are, then I could actually help others learn how to do the same thing. And so I was in a bad spot when I first came in. Annuities evened out my business and helped me grow it. And I've been a big proponent of them since then, and helping other people grow their business, on a personal level and agency level by providing annuities to their clients as well too. There is a massive market out there for these. It's kind of interesting because they're not advertised as a retirement product. Like you hear, everyone's got their 401k, everyone's got a TSP, all those other retirement products, but people don't know about these. And these are specifically designed for the retirement phase of life. Everyone hears about, especially if you're younger, 401k, IRAs, whatever it might be. People don't realize that those were not designed to be the end all in all of your retirement. They were there to supplement your pension because most companies gave pensions years and years and years ago, and 95% of those companies did away with the pensions. And so when it just left with the 401k, it was never designed to stand on its own to be a retirement product because of the volatility that's in there. And so if you look at the reason why volatility is not good for you in retirement is you save as much as you can, and most people don't think they saved enough. If you're like me and you're younger and you're making money, it is always later. You save later. And then if you're like me and you get in a bind, oh, we can just pull it out and just start all over again. Um, so people don't retire with as much as they think they're going to need to last their lifetime. And the worst thing that can happen to somebody in retirement is for them to actually need to start withdrawing the distribution phase of their retirement and have that be distribution from a declining asset. And so there's no quicker way to burn through your money than that. And so that's where our products come in, because we don't lose any money. They're 100% safe against market loss. And the interest that they get applied now is pretty substantial. They've really evolved into something that can really not just preserve people's money, but help them grow over time. And throughout this whole process, we're going to show you how to run illustrations. We're going to show you how to present illustrations. We're going to show you current client statements that I have, to show you clients that I've worked with for the years and shown, the interest that's applied, the participation rates, and what all that stuff means, but in a really basic way that you guys are all be able to take this information, go find the money, maybe you need help in presenting the first time, but then do it on your own and build a business that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Y'all ever listen to someone like try to explain something to you, whether it be annuities or something else, just in general, try to explain. Like I watched a movie last night and I watched the entire movie with staff And then at the end, I have no idea what happened or who saved who or who was in charge. Like I couldn't explain the movie to any of you right now because it just went over my head. And any of y'all ever have something like where someone's explaining to something to you and you're just nodding your head and saying, "Yep, uh-huh," but you actually have absolutely no idea what they're saying? What I've learned is a lot of agents that are trying to sell annuities to their clients, that situation's happening, and you're the one trying to explain something to someone, and you're confusing the ever living hell out of them, and they're just nodding your head at you and saying, "Uh-huh, okay, okay," and you never get the deal. Because you're trying, what I've seen is most people try to explain their inner workings of annuities, like what's in the engine of them,
Mhm.
and it throws people. They're like, "Wait, what? I just don't want to lose money. I
Yeah.
don't actually care how the reinsurance company manages the fund." Like they don't care about any of that stuff. And on a basic level, that happens in the life insurance sales side too, where you start explaining company one, company two, company three, company four. Here's the brochures. You can get term, you can get whole life, you can get a UL, and you can get a kids policy, and we can do this, and you can do that. And by the end, they're like, information overload. Give me your card. I'll call you later.
Yeah.
And so what I love about what Gavin does is I've listened to a lot of people teach on this stuff, and he knows it better than about anyone I know. I think we both know the smartest human on planet Earth. He's really good at this. But then
Yes.
outside of that, like John knows more about how these things work than I'd argue most people in our space by far, but also has the ability to explain it to where like Maddox, who's 13, could understand it and walk away and explain to me what he's getting into. And that's what we're going to focus on teaching over the course of the next few months to you guys, and we'll do it incrementally. Is like, how do you explain it so a consumer can absorb it and want to make a move at one of the scariest points in their life?
Just a kick in the ass. I love John Wetmore for that. So yeah, great event.
If you're a struggling insurance agent or quite frankly an agency manager struggling to grow and you're looking for some help, let me help you. My name is John Wetmore. I've built an agency of over 6,000 agents across the country. We'll issue over $200 million in paid premium this year, and I have an event coming up in my office, Metro Atlanta, February 27th and 28th. We'll be spending 2 days teaching you everything I've learned in the last decade and helped thousands of agents build their agency and their business. Click on the link below, register. We'll see you there. And again, you don't have to explain a savings account or a checking account. You don't have to explain the inner workings of a bank. Like when I was in college, I took this course. I took a finance degree. I had a finance degree. And I took this class where they explained the flow of the money when you deposit your money in a savings account. Like we went through the entire flow of what the bank does with that cash. And I've never had a bank explain that to me when I go to open a checking account or a savings account. They just don't need to.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this as simple as that because it is. And you guys are just going to have to be open to learn and understand that it might be different than things you've heard or learned in the past. And our goal is to get you self-sufficient along the way. And we're going to share a lot of those stories as we start to.
Hey, John, can I add that real quick?
Please. Yeah,
so, and I have a little analogy that I use for just what John said there. And it's like, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, John, would you want, 2 cups of sugar, a cup of flour, a couple eggs, and some vanilla extract?" I'm like, that just sounds awful. Why would I want that? And then if somebody else came along and said, "Hey, you want a piece of cake?" I'm like, hell yeah, I want cake. So the cake is the end result. They don't need to know the inner workings and the ingredients. You don't offer up the ingredients because it just doesn't seem right. You show what it can do and what it is, and then people understand it that way. But I don't need the ingredients. I just need the cake.
I love it. That's good.
So
I love it, dude. Do you want to get into some of the people you've been working with now?
I want to show something first off. I want to share.
Yeah,
let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Make sure this is up here. I'm going to go really old school and show something I used to use years ago. It was outdated then. Now it's really outdated. But this just gives you a basic understanding of how these products work. Okay. So I'll get into the testimonies in a minute of the people that I've been working with. But I want to give you guys just on a basic level understand what our annuities are. First of all, we only work with fixed index annuities. If you've heard of any other type, we do some other ones. I'm not going to even mention names, but we don't do the variable type. We don't do the investment type. We do fixed index annuities, which the only people that can write them are insurance agents. So their financial advisor can't write them unless he's got his insurance license, their friend, their banker. Only we have them. And I think they're the best type of annuity out there for several reasons. The biggest one is that they just don't lose money. And so when I first started transitioning from overwhelming people to going to the elementary level of explaining these, I used to use this form here. So what this is this is just a graph, and there's other graphs out there, and there might be a little bit more updated, but this one shows, how an annuity product works versus the market. Okay. So when we talk about the market, the only thing you didn't know is like a lot of people we work with, and where the funds come from a lot of times are from their different retirement accounts that they've accumulated, either through a 401k or an IRA. We're going to go into the difference of those later on. But this is a graph that's going to show how an annuity works. And so basically this is $100,000 deposited into the S&P 500, top 500 stocks in the US. That's going to be that red line. And then versus a fixed index annuity. Now, this is an outdated product. This is not our product. I'm just trying to show you how this works. And so essentially $100,000 deposited with an insurance company into a fixed index annuity versus the S&P 500. So we don't suffer any of the losses, but we do participate in the gains. Okay. And so this is over a 15-year time frame. This is actual real data from a different product. Our products are actually a lot stronger than these are right now. So if you look here and just ignore the blue line there. So the $100,000 deposited in 1998, obviously a very long time ago. For 2 years, the market went up quite a bit. Okay. So it gained about 36%. So after 2 years, anybody that had deposited money into the S&P 500, now granted, their 401ks are not going to perform as strong as the S&P 500, but this is just to show you using a certain index. So here the market goes up and they did really, really well. Super happy after 2 years. They've got $36,000 in interest added to their account. The fixed index annuity participates in the gains, maybe not all of it. Okay. So they got a significant amount of interest as well. They got about $25,000 in interest applied to their account over that first 2 years. Now, here's where the strength of our product comes in, is where in 2000, that's for those of you that were not alive then, that's when the tech stocks imploded and the market lost 43%. Okay. So this person's happy here for 2 years, not so happy over the next 2 years. Okay. Lost 43%. Our products don't lose any money at all. So we slide right over. We're not invested into anything. It's just a deposit with an insurance company. So it just slides right over. Now, if you're 30 years old, it's fine. You lost your money. The market eventually does come back. But what if you're 60, 62, 64, 67, and you're using those funds? You can't afford to lose this and then still withdraw from them. So here we stabilize it. We move it right over. The next year, the following year is down again. So we slide right over again. And then we saw 5 years of recovery. So the market started coming back eventually, like it always does. But if you think of it this way, and this is what I always showed clients, is you had $136,000 here after 2 years. You didn't have that same amount if you fast forward all the way here to 2007. So 6.5 years. So when advisors say, hey, buy and hold, the market's always come back. That is true. The market has always come back over time. But where are you in life? Or if you're in retirement, you don't have this 6.5 years for your account to get back to where it was before. That's why not losing any money, maybe you didn't gain the full amount, but not losing it is worth its weight in gold, because you don't have to worry about these 2 years of going down and then the 5 to 6 years of recovery. So we're either growing or sliding right over. Growing, and then we went on a run during those 5 years, so we were growing as well too. But then in 2007, when the housing market crashed again, short-lived. So they had their money here for about 2 years, and then they lost 49% of it again. Okay. We didn't lose anything at all. Our clients don't lose anything at all. And when you're in retirement, I can't tell you how much this will eliminate the stress, the anxiety. And this is what makes our product so strong, is because the people that we're meeting with, they're going to be in their 50s, they're going to be in their 60s, they're going to be in their 70s. They remember 2007 to 2010 like it was yesterday. They still remember 2000. It's a little bit in the distant future, but they remember this like it was yesterday, and they act like they didn't get their money back. But then again, here it dropped for a couple years. It bounced around at the bottom and eventually did recover. But it was again 6.5 years. So if you think of this, when their markets are gaining, and we're talking to people every day right now going, hey, you know, Trump just took office, the markets are doing great, da, 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 whatever it might be. We're not saying anything's going to happen today, next week, next month. We don't know that it is. We don't know that it's not. But how many people are we talking to if they lost 43 or 49% of their retirement? How many of those people will their retirement suffer, their quality of life suffer, their what they get to do throughout the day or throughout the weeks would suffer because they just lost so much of their retirement when we have something that they can secure it and then let it grow over time. Okay. So obviously the market went on a run from 2000, whatever it was, 2013 to 2019. And then we saw some market volatility then. But if you just think of it this way, we participate in most of the gains or some of the gains, but none of the losses. And then we don't spend, we're here, anyone that had the money in the S&P 500 here, it was growing for 5 years. They spent 5 years recovering. We don't spend any time recovering. We're growing on the original amount because we've never lost anything. And if you can just remember this, and this is how I started, be able to explain annuities so where people understood them. All we do is we participate in the gains, but not the losses. Okay. And then you can, there's a lot more I'm going to teach you after that, but that's kind of it in a nutshell and how I started actually closing agents or clients that I was sitting with that old graph.
Dude, I wish Vegas worked that way.
Oh, don't you though? Yeah, I know.
I'd like enjoy gambling more if I didn't have to participate in the losses.
Fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. So that's basically how they work. And it's like I said, who are our clientele? Our clientele are going to be, they're not people that are in their 20s and 30s, not even really 40s, that can withstand a little bit market fluctuation, that are still contributing to their retirement. It's mostly people who have retirement in their sights. They can see it to some extent. Maybe they're in their 50s, maybe they're in their 60s, and then definitely in the 70s as well too. Because the crazy part about our products is people aren't flocking to us because they don't like our product. People aren't flocking to us because they don't know about our product.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing these trainings. That's why we're doing these workshops, master classes, because we want more of you to understand how strong this product is that only you have access to. So you can go out and help more people. And what happens when you help more people? You actually get paid more yourself too.
Yeah. Dude, I literally used to use that same exact dated, the same date, the same old. I mean, that helped me explain it to clients so easily, visually, how simply they work, just from a conceptual standpoint, you know.
Yeah, I'd bring the illustration and I'd slide that over to them. I'd show them that. They understood that. I'd walk through the illustration. It was a little bit more detailed for their specific information than just write it up, you know. And so that's a great way to look at these in a very uncomplicated system. Yeah. And so what we're trying to get you guys to do is just get a low level of comfort, not to know enough about annuities where you can go write your first one on your own. I know that's kind of difficult, but we have a system in place that we can actually help you. You uncover the funds, and then you can set appointments up, and then I can help you close them. And so I've got some people on here today that I want to walk through and that I actually have helped in different degrees. Some people I've worked with for a while, and so, Tikel, are you on here? Can we unmute him real quick?
Amanda, I bet she can.
Bet she can.
I bet she can. I do see him though.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
What's going on, brother?
There he is. We should host a contest to see if anybody can guess Tikel's age.
Let's do it. Type it in the chat. How old do you think Tikel is?
Oh man, boy, was I wrong.
32.
Yeah.
36, 25. You got a 25, bro.
Yeah, I got a 25. Yeah.
That's good.
Kind of what I thought too. So Tikel is somebody that I've worked with for over a year now, right?
Yep. We've been good friends. Yep.
And so we started off, he was with a group that I started training and just kind of doing this whole process here. And I remember the first situation, I think this is a great opportunity for people in there to understand, but the first opportunity that he brought to us was his dad. And so Jimmy. And so we went through Jimmy's retirement. He got to see the process. He got to see how I presented it. And then we ended up writing his dad's annuity. And then he kind of took it on his own and he learned enough to where he started doing the illustrations, he started doing the presenting, but then he just had to ask me some questions along the way. And I know that he just closed a pretty big one in December. That what did you get paid on that?
Almost 27,000.
$27,000
Yeah.
that you get to keep,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That I
There's
get.
no chargeback. You're good. You get to keep that.
That
So
that literally was the single reason I made Hall of Fame my first full-time year.
that's awesome.
Yeah, because of that.
How old are you, Takel?
42.
42. Hot
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody guessed that.
Very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple people get
So,
Yeah.
so can you just take a few minutes, and because we have a lot of new people on here that have not written annuities, can you go through like the shortened version of how you went from just watching your presentation, what you took from that, then you're able to do the illustrations, and then just kind of reach out for a little bit of help here and there, but then ultimately to be writing these on your own.
Okay, yeah. So when I first learned about the annuity, I thought it was a super complex product. You know, I was writing mostly IULs, but when I got with you, you pretty much got with me and let me know all the stuff that the client would be asking and made it simple so that I could focus on those and learn all of the objectives that I would run into. And so pretty much how you're gonna be getting the interest, how safe it is compared to putting it in a bank or a 401k, and just pretty much learning all the simple things. And then after I learned all the simple things, then I would like ask you a question here and there, or get you to chime in and answer some questions for me. But it's pretty much when you get all the good stuff out of the product and you're confident in it and knowing how safe it is, then you pretty much can sell it to anybody that's going into retirement, because there's no other product out there that can protect their money like that. Because one thing that financial advisors can't give them is guarantees. You can give them a guarantee with this product. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true too. Is they cannot give them guarantees. They can't turn a lump sum of money into permanent lifetime income, and
Yep.
they can't guarantee they're not going to lose anything.
Exactly. So, and
Yeah.
you know, it's pretty much contribution based. You're going to get what you put in there. It's not going to be nothing guaranteed that you're going to get more than that. And with the annuities, you can guarantee them a lifetime income after they let it accumulate to a certain amount. So,
How'd that feel when that deposit hit your account in December?
oh, it felt good. Like it felt even better when I found out that you know, you get 10% of whatever you do
Yeah.
for your I guess for the what is it?
Production.
IP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for production.
production. Yeah, when it went
I'll
over.
take the money over credit any day, though.
Yeah. Who cares?
I
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
give
yeah.
I want that. I want those
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah,
You
the
can
check
spend
that-
those.
Yeah, those checks hit way different. I've got a crazy check for IULs before too, but like knowing that no matter what happened, it's a 9 times out of 10 chance that's there, that's yours. You're good. It's no like, oh man, are they not going to pay this month, or you know.
With all the annuities I've written over time, I have had one chargeback, and that was it.
That's
So they don't charge back. And you're working with Ralph and some other people on your team that are selling as well too now, huh?
Yeah, like and they actually called me because you know you trained me enough to the point where I can explain it to them, so they feel like I'm the genius on the team. So,
and that's what this is all about, because this isn't complicated. That we can train. If you have an agency or you have agency you're working with, we can train you to get up to speed on these. And just like Jaquel, you can turn around and start training your agents and helping them out as well too.
for sure, like it's probably like 40% of my business. I mean, my this year, because of from the checks.
That's awesome.
Like,
good job, man.
Just thanks to you. No, for real. And you always answer when I call, and you know no questions are dumb questions to you. So
I appreciate you. I love being in business with you.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
We got one cooking right now. So I just got to go over the house and get that paperwork signed. So
there you go. Yeah. See, here's I look at this though. So when you go back to and we got a little bit of time, but I think these things are important though. So you go from not understanding annuities and thinking they're complicated to writing the first one there with your dad. And didn't that whole process seem simple and give you that confidence to go find more?
Yeah, you actually can pivot from writing a life insurance policy with an older person because they probably got some money laying around somewhere. It's all about asking the right questions. Because you can like, hey, how you looking on retirement? They be like, oh, or you can always even post. I even post on my social media, like, people don't realize that if they're transitioning from one job to another job, instead of transferring that money into another job, they can transfer it into an annuity.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
we're going to cover that too. That is awesome.
And there, so like I'll be like, is anybody about to change jobs with a 401k? Like people like, yeah, I'm about to change jobs. I'm like, yeah, let's talk. I potentially can get you a bonus for doing it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of transferring it to your new job.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
just so you know that Shaquille gets all of his business through referrals and social media. You don't buy leads, do you?
No, not yet. I plan on starting to implement that into my strategy.
Yeah. But for
yeah.
right now, you've
But
been doing
right
it
now,
that
I
way and it's
haven't.
worked out.
Yeah, I did pretty good without buying anything yet. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool. All right. Next, I want to have Ray. If Ray can jump on real quick. Appreciate you, Shaquille. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
John, while we're waiting for Ray to unmute, some of y'all have teams on here that are building teams, building agencies, things like that. And certainly if you want to invite your crew here, you can. But what also is available, if any of y'all want us to get on your team call and like help out specific to annuities, because you have a scheduled team call every Thursday at 7 or whatever you got going on, just connect with me and we can set something up where it's like, hey, if you want us to come on your team call, your agency call, and train on any of this stuff to help your group out, we can certainly figure that out as well. Just hit me up, and we'll set it up with you guys.
Ray, I see you're unmuted.
I am.
All right.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Awesome.
So just real quick, Ray. So we met several months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were given my number from somebody else. Is that right?
So basically, through the platform that we worked through,
Yeah.
I found your information, called you, and it literally, like Tikel said, you call John Gavin, and John Gavin picks up the phone. There
Yeah,
is
nothing else to do.
literally no doubt about his genius and ability. I can tell you, unlike Tikel, I have not taken the bull by the horns, as they say, yet, because I'm a little bit older. It takes me a little bit longer to learn. But it's a simple process, and again, if you ask the questions, it's all you have to do is ask the question. John and I are working on one right now that came to me through a life insurance lead, and after I presented delivered the policy to this nice lady, we started asking a couple of questions and uncovered a pretty good amount of money that they have, and they've never talked to a financial advisor.
Yeah.
And John
Is
and I
this
were
the
both
pretty
blown
good
away
amount
by
you
it.
told me about, Gavin?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
You should say that
1.4.
pretty good amount.
Yeah, it's 1.4 million. They have 2
1.4
million. So they have 2 million, but we're looking at moving 1.4.
And again, nicest lady. Her husband, great, they're just really good people. But it was just amazing. And
they're both doctors. They're both doctors, and they don't
Yeah.
have a finance guy. They have nobody they've spoken to. They didn't know what to do with their retirement. So these are the types of people that are out there that we can help.
And you just got to ask the question, and that's really what it comes down to. When you're talking to it doesn't matter. Like I've talked to people. My background is health insurance, so I do a lot of ACA stuff, and I have ACA clients that literally are broke. But you ask the question, you find out they had a settlement. You find out that the reason they're not working or they haven't worked is because they've got disability, but there's an old 401k that they've got laying around. Just got to talk to these people because they don't know what to do with it a lot of times. Certainly,
Yeah.
sometimes there's financial advisors out there, but again, to the point, can your financial advisor guarantee that you're not going to lose money? The answer is no.
Yeah. And after you found that 2 million, wasn't it the same day you found 200,000 more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same day. Same
So,
day. I have an appointment with
yeah.
that guy. We have an appointment with him the same day.
Yeah, they come in
Thursday.
bunches.
Yeah.
And you got paid how much on your first one?
So yeah, great story. The original amount we thought was going to be 13 and change, and when I
Yeah.
opened up my bank account, it was over 14,000.
Yeah. So $14,000. That one we did over the phone, so we never even
Yep.
did a Zoom with them.
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't do a
It
Zoom.
was all over
It
the
was
phone.
all over the phone.
Yeah.
And it closed. We did it in 3 weeks. It issued in 3 weeks. And he texts me all the time saying, thank you. Every holiday, that client sends me happy holidays. So glad I got to know. I mean, so incredibly grateful that we came into his lives and helped him because he had no other route, nobody else he was working with. And so just another example of that's what else is out there. So I appreciate you, Ray. And we're gonna do a lot of business this week, actually.
Heck yeah, and more to come.
Awesome. Good job, man.
Thanks.
All right. So so Dom and Ian are two guys that want to get on here real. Oops. Okay, Dom and Ian are two guys that want to get on here real quick. Because I'm doing a lot of work with a lot of guys and girls in their office. And so this is how this kind of thing takes off, you know. I started working. Can you guys get unmuted there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I see Dom. Is he in there too?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm here too.
Okay. So a couple things I want to talk to you guys about is being, you know, I don't even know who I spoke to there first. It was somebody in your office I
It
spoke
was
to.
Ian.
Was it Ian? Okay, cool.
Adam Gelvin, but he's not on the call right now. But yeah,
Yeah, so we talked to that's right. We talked to Adam first. Me and Adam wrote one, I think, or two, maybe. I don't know. We did a few, I think. Um, and then a bunch of you guys started calling me, reaching out, and it's like all these different situations. So here's a great example of the culture that took off in this office of people that nobody had written.
If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to like break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with like high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling like 8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started a coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued like 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing like 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added like 10 or 15% production in 30 days and continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out.
That I know of in your office. And so now, I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 people in your office that I'm working with over a very short period of time. So there's something specific I'm going to ask Ian, but Don, why don't you explain kind of the culture there and what you guys did to get everybody to have that mindset of looking for that money and asking the questions, and looking for all these opportunities.
Yeah, so we've always kind of known the golden questions to ask to find the money. But I really think it was the steps that came after that was keeping us from wanting to ask it. We didn't know what it looked like after, so it kept us from wanting to ask the question in general. So what we did is we actually wrote it on the wall, finding the money question, and that's how I got my first one. The guy didn't want to add a bill. He didn't want to add life insurance, and I just read it off the wall and was able to book an appointment with him. And that's really opened up the eyes of everybody in here. Bunch of young guys realizing it's not as scary as it seems.
Not at all. Yep. And then Ian, you and I were working on one for a while, and unfortunately it didn't come to fruition, but there's a lot of, we worked on one, and unfortunately the wife was just too skittish and had everybody back out, which it happens every now and again, not a big deal. But what I thought was good from that was what you learned along the way. So Ian and I worked on one, didn't end up writing it because of the wife, but he learned enough to where he just wrote his first one the other day on his own. So, even when things don't come to fruition, there's a benefit from them, and it's that learning process. So can you just give an idea of what you went through, what you learned, and how you're able to, navigate through the application, even it's not that difficult, is it?
not at all. So I kind of lucked into my first, well, the one that we were kind of going through, that would have been a big deal. He just kind of came out and said, "This is how much money I have. I'm looking to protect my wife, blah, blah, blah." The IUL just ended up being too expensive. So Adam Gelvin told me to reach out to you regarding the annuity. And I remember the first Zoom call that we had together. You kind of went through the pitch and everything like that, just going through the slideshow and everything. And the guy was eating it up. Like eventually it didn't go through because of the wife, but the guy loved it from the jump. I think on his first call, he was like, all right, how do we get this started?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he went back to the wife, didn't go through. But after the call, John and I hopped on a quick phone call and was like, I was in shock. I was like, is that how those normally go? And he's like, yeah. Yeah. Because it was so much simpler than any life insurance pitch and conversation I've seen. And I was in shock that somebody was that much money. One, I could have gotten paid out, and then two, somebody was willing to move it over that quickly, just based on a simple like few slides show pitch. So it's so much easier than it sounds.
Yeah, when you show our product and what it does, I mean, it's what retirees are looking for. They're looking for something that takes all the risk off the table. They're looking for something that can even add a bonus on top of that, and then still get a fair return throughout retirement. So there's nothing else that combines the different aspects of what we have that's available. Advisors will try to make one. They'll try and diversify an account by moving some money to bonds and some money to equities, and this is safe, but this will grow. But when you show them something that it's all safe and it all grows and the market grows, and we'll give you a bonus, and we have lower fees what you're paying right now, and you get a fair return, it's just like, yeah, let's do it, let's go. So there's a gigantic need for our product out there, and it's so cool that we're the only people that can provide it. Ian, the one question I want to ask you is, because you guys are all in your office really good about uncovering the money, and we've talking about that here, finding the money, uncovering the money. What is your process? Because we're all licensed insurance agents. A lot of us are selling life insurance here. How do you uncover the money, and how do you transition into setting a follow-up appointment?
So all I do to uncover the money is I find out one, it's basically a normal life insurance sales call. So I'm trying to find out one, what they're looking for money for. Usually it's like leave money for loved ones, final expenses, something like that. And then two, I find out their beneficiary's name and who it is in relation to them. So let's say it's their wife, say it's Nancy. So once I find out like if they have coverage or whatever, then all I ask is really, so God forbid you didn't get this coverage in place or you don't have any coverage. And do you have anything that Nancy could pull from if something happened to you that would act like life insurance? And then I just explain it, anything like 403Bs, 401Ks, TSPs. I just go through the examples from there. And then if they say, yes, I have something 50,000 of 401k, I just kind of keep that in the back of my mind until I'm done with the sales process for life insurance, because I don't want to switch over or try to pitch both at the same time. It's just going to confuse them. So whether they do or don't buy life insurance, at the end of the call, I'm just like, I'll say, I'm sure if I showed you something that would give you a bonus, protect your money that's in the 401k, and give you fair returns in the market, you would be pretty interested in that. So what's a good day next week for us to go over how I can teach you to do that? And then normally I do drop that John Gavin is our retirement specialist, and that he'll be on that call. That's really all it is.
So it's going to be Ian and Dom are the retirement specialists. So I mean, that's such a non-threatening way to ask questions, because you lead in with, because when we're writing life insurance, we need to know what else they have in place, right? And then you just transition, what else do you have that would act like life insurance that would be transferable upon your death? And like John said in our last meeting, mostly annuity, or a lot of annuities I wrote were people I didn't write life insurance for. Just wasn't the right situation for them, couldn't help them out, but we helped them out this way. And so it's a non-threatening way. And here's the other thing too, is if somebody is brand new on this call meeting, whatever it is, and they hear you talk about, oh, the 401ks, the TSPs, I don't know anything about that, I can't ask them about that. You don't have to. They're just acronyms. They're just different places that holds money. If you can remember the acronym, you don't need to know anything behind it, right? You don't need to know how a 401k works or a TSP. Just know that there's money behind it, right? So it's all part of the question to uncover the funds, and then setting that follow-up appointment. So hopefully everyone was paying attention to that, because that is the absolute key to getting started writing annuities in this business, is uncovering and setting the appointments. Got it. Awesome, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you. Love seeing the growth there. And I love seeing new texts come in saying, hey, it's not even now I work with Dom or Ian. I get texts from people that work with other people like 2 or 3 down the line in your office because they all know. And so I'm getting some texts like, I don't know who that person is, but I think I work with them, but it's all good. Yeah.
They realize
so
they
way,
want to
way to
get
create
paid.
that environment in there and way to get that volume growing too.
Thank you for your help.
You
Thank you,
betcha.
John.
Awesome. All right.
Love it, dude.
I'm gonna have Ruth on here, and I like this one. This is a cool situation here because Ruth was actually on our first call a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she was one of the people that put into a chat, I've got a meeting tomorrow night. Can you help me? Yeah. Ruth, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So a few weeks back in the chat, you said, you have a meeting the next night and asked if I can jump on. And I did that. And I know that you've written annuities. You've got, a little bit of, excuse me, good book of business there. But then I jumped on with your client and just presented a little bit different way, maybe. And then we were able to write that one, and that one's still in process now. But here's a situation from somebody that got on one of these calls, put their information in, we had a meeting, and then we wrote it. And that's how quickly things can happen if you guys have scenarios out there. But if you have just a couple of minutes, just explain because there's people on here that have been writing annuities for a while, and maybe they're not having the greatest success, maybe they're not closing the ones that they want to, their closing percentage is down, they can't get follow-up meetings. Why don't you kind of walk through what the difference is from what you were doing to kind of what we did there?
Yep. So for me, I do have a background. I have written several annuities, but I've never done it over the phone. So I came from face to face, always meeting clients face to face. So my roadblock was, how do I close over the phone? So when he made the offer a couple weeks ago, I was blowing up his chat saying, please help me, have a meeting tomorrow. So he hopped on the call, and I will tell you, there's a few things that I really liked about what he did. One, it was so easy. It was me standing in my own way, I think, because he brought out, and the other thing I liked is he was super transparent. So he brings out the illustration, and he's going through the pros and the cons of the illustration. There was nothing not said. There was nothing not put on the table. And he walked through, not completely unafraid of what the client, could say in response to, the cons, of the product. So those are the two things that I liked, that it was super simple, and that he walked through the illustration, the guarantees, the CDSC, the contingent deferred sales charge, the how long before you're vested as far as the bonus. He went through everything. So I really like that about what he did. And I think that made a big difference with the client as well.
Yeah. And so I do cover 4 pages. The illustrations are 25 pages. I cover 4 of them because that's what I found out what the clients are most interested in. But the reason why I don't have a sales approach is because I think that the product sells itself. You just have to explain what it does, and the client wants it. I don't have to tell them they should want it, and I don't even have to tell them how it's going to benefit them. I can just ask them questions like can you see how not losing any money would help you in retirement? Yes, I can see that. Do you see how an added bonus would put you ahead of where you're at right now? Yeah, I see that. So the product really does sell itself, and the way I look at our fixed index annuities is they're not sales. Like I do get calls from people saying, hey, what would you sell this person? I wouldn't. I need to know a little bit more about them and what they're concerned with. And I don't think they're sales. I think they're solutions. And I know that sounds a little bit corny, but when you understand what your client's goals are for retirement or fears are about their retirement, we can just show them this product, and it really eliminates the only things they can be concerned with. So it does make the process really simple.
Yeah.
And then you wrote one the day after, didn't you?
So yeah, and so like the next day I have another appointment, and I'm talking to the lady. She won't show herself on Zoom, just fine. I was showing, I went through several questions with her, and I brought up his illustration because I didn't even have time to prepare illustration for her. I brought up his illustration just so that she can, and I redacted the client's information just so that she can get an idea of what it does. Went through his illustration and she says, okay, so what do we do next to move forward? I was like,
Yeah.
so it's awesome. And so, yeah, I brought up the
Oh.
application, sent it to her. We went through the application. She signed right there on the phone. It was done. So, yeah,
Love that.
yeah, it was sweet.
It's I don't know. It's funny because we keep saying, oh, it's so simple. It's so simple. And it's so here's the thing about it. It is so simple, but it's so impactful. It's so impactful to the income that you make. It's so impactful to the clients when the market does take a turn because it's going to. We don't know if it's going to be next week, next month, next year. The markets are going to take a turn, and people who are retired and have their money in the market are going to suffer. And so when we have something that's so incredibly simple to find the money because everybody's got something, to do the presentation, like Ruth was saying, is it's so simple, but it's so impactful on everybody that's involved. The agents getting paid, being able to pour more money into their business, the clients don't have to worry about losing any money in a down market. And then as these trainings progress, I want to show you statements from current clients of mine, and you'll be shocked at the growth they get out of them too, because these have evolved to where they're not just protecting their accounts, but the growth that some of my clients have gotten has been massive. They were just trying to protect it. The growth just came along with it too, and so they go pretty substantially. So I appreciate you, Ruth, getting on. I love the fact that you're able to use that, even an old illustration, going, hey, this isn't you and it's not your money, but I'm just going to show you how this works. And it does, and that's just awesome. And now that person doesn't have to worry about any more market volatility.
Yep, exactly.
So thanks for getting on. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You know what's dope, dude, is like when I called you, whatever it was, a month or so ago, and I'm like, I have this idea. I know it's going to work. These are the stories we talked about happening.
Yeah.
We just didn't know who it was going to happen with yet.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And quite frankly, I don't even know who Ruth is. I see her on our stuff.
Ruth is awesome.
But
yeah.
I know. But my point is, like, there's a lot of people who follow and we just try to give information to. And there are people that we don't even know each other, and just a conduit to being able to connect with what you're doing to help her and what I'm doing to help. You know what I mean? It's like the world's just collided.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so dope, dude, to have someone that just gets on a call. She can probably tell the story how I don't even know. You know what I mean? But it's like a lot of people are in that same situation. I'm like, dude, we could impact a shit ton of people to make a bunch of money in this thing. And what's cool is a lot of people on here don't even work with us, and you can still do this. You can stay where you're at. You don't have to be here. This isn't a recruiting pool. Like, you can work where you work. We don't care. Ruth doesn't work with us. Yeah. So she had an opportunity, and any of y'all that have one, you can just go on. If you go on to johnwetmore.com/annuity, there's a little form in there. Some of y'all filled it out in advance, but if you have a client you want to submit, y'all didn't put it on this thing, Amanda. Can you add it to the thing before I show them, or I can just tell them it'll be on there later.
There's a
but if you
code on the bottom of that thing.
Oh, it is there, Tiny. I'm old and blind. I like almost made it like you didn't do something, and you did.
You did.
I'm an ass. She's really good. So y'all can go on to johnwetmore.com/annuity. And sorry, Reese. Yes, I'm terrible. You know what was funny? I was holding it like this, and that's where it's under my thumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to johnwetmore.com/annuity. There's a form at the bottom that literally says submit a client. If you have a client, if you have an appointment, obviously, if you're like, hey, I got one in 4 minutes, you can DM either one of us. We'll help you. But if you go through the site, it'll put all your info in the system. And a few of y'all have asked that you don't have the ability to get contracts wherever you're at. We can certainly help you get an annuity contract, and you can keep all your other stuff wherever it's at. We don't care. If you need it, great. johnwetmore.com/annuity. Patty, can one of y'all type that in there for me, Amanda, please? We're going to actually we're going to do something. So we have, so we're going to keep doing these, obviously, the boot camps, but we have also, I'm having an event in my office. Some of y'all are registered for already. It's a workshop at the end of February. Part of the event, we're going to focus on annuities. John's coming out to Atlanta to be part of that. I have a 2-day workshop we got going on. Amanda will probably share the link. It's on my events page as well on the website. But we're going to spend 2 days going over everything that I can pack into 2 days. Very hands-on workshop. Sales stuff, yes. building stuff, yes. Staffing, systems. We're going to dive into annuities, finding them, how they work. We're just going to take a deeper dive into, because like it's going to be, is it Thursday, Friday, Amanda? Or is it Wednesday, Thursday? I know it's the 27th, 28th. I don't know what days of the week it is.
Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday. Cool. So we're going to spend literally all day Thursday and Friday in my office. I think we hold, how many can we fit? 30 in there. So if you want to come, we can only have 30. So if y'all are interested, I know a lot of people keep saying they're going to come. But if you haven't registered yet, get in, because we are capping it, because only so many fit in the training room here. And then what's it, 197, I believe, for tickets, 2 days event. We're buying lunch. We're giving you all kinds of stuff. We have these, we made these, my team made these, and look, they even put a little QR code on it if you got to submit a client. But we made a little, it doesn't come out perfect here. I think Amanda's going to share one, but we're going to have these printed. Anyone that comes to the event, we're going to give them out to. If y'all share, whether like a picture of this or the upcoming annuity boot camp, something that you're here, you're learning from this, just share it out to the world. Whoever the hell you know, we want to know also. And you tag me in it. My team will send you some of these free. We'll just mail them to you. So just tag, but you have to tag me in it or we're not going to see it. And again, just share that you're on the annuity boot camp, whether you share the registration or a screenshot of this, and johnwetmore.com/annuity would be dope. But if you come to that event, 2-day event, 197 is a general ticket, gets you 2 days access. You'll be around everybody else. There's a VIP option. We're having a private mastermind at my house after, I think $12.97, and we're capping that at 10 because we only want so many people at my house. So if you're interested in that and you want to be around some legit multiple seven-figure people, really want to learn business and selling, I know Karen's in on that one. We got some other people in here that are coming to that as well. I think we have a few, 4 or 5 left of that ticket. Amanda put the link in the workshop. You'll be here both days, I think, right, John?
Yeah.
You'll be here Thursday and Friday. Cool.
Yeah.
So he'll be out here in person, and we're going to spend a good amount of time training on this stuff. So if you're not yet registered, do that as well. And again, if y'all post something, tag me, my team. We'll just have to DM and get your address if it's not already in our system somewhere, and we'll mail you a couple of these things. But are you going to share a link where they can just print it on a piece of paper, Amanda? Is that possible? There you go. Look at that. She's like fucking magic. So I guess if you click that, it'll give you the question, the exact way, and it's a 1 through 4. What to do, every step of the process. What the guys mentioned they had on the wall. So it tells you exactly what to do and what to say to uncover these and how to book your next meeting. Literally print it, keep it with you. If you want like a fancy glossy one, we can get you them, but you can literally just go print that from the link that the team made, and the QR code goes to the form to fill out when you have a client. Any questions on any of that before we go to the next step? If you have anything, yes, it's based. Oh, you're over there multitasking, Gavin, answering questions too. I love it. I love it. Yeah, if y'all have questions along the way, don't be shy. You can type them in the chat, and we'll answer them as we go, and see if we can help you there. Cool. What do you want to get into before we wrap it, dude? Anything you want to touch on, or you want to hint at what we're going to get on the next
what we're going to do next is we'll go over. I'm going to run an illustration to show you on the next meeting. I'll run an illustration on a growth annuity. There's different types of annuities, serve different purposes. We have some that provide permanent income, sort of like a pension. The one we'll go over next is a growth annuity. And I'll show you guys how to run the illustration. It takes about 15 seconds, I think, to put an illustration together. And then I'll show, and there's no medical underwriting. I just saw a question, there's no medical underwriting. But I'll show you how I go over the illustration. And when you see how simple it is, you'll probably doubt that it works because it's so simple. But get me in front of somebody who's got an IRA, and they'll see how it works, because it just does. And I'm not saying that it just does. And I'll go over the parts that over the years, I've found that the clients are most concerned with, and builds the strength in what we do and what separates our product from everybody else. But I'll go over the illustration, and that will help you understand what we're going to present. And all this does is, these are the building blocks to build your confidence to go out there and ask that question every appointment that you're in, uncover the funds, and then we'll show you throughout this process on how to capitalize on all of that and then build into actually annuity business.
I love it, dude. Yeah. So if any of y'all, I would say over the next couple of weeks, the next one I believe is the 3rd, Amanda. Same time, 3 o'clock, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, February 3rd, 3 o'clock. She'll put a link here. You can always go to the event, johnwetmore.com/events. We list everything we got going out there. If y'all will register for that one, we'll cover everything John said and probably open it up to questions as well. So like in the next couple weeks, my suggestion for you guys would be print out the questions, the roadmap to finding these suckers, and start making it part of your regular everyday process. So when you hang up the phone with someone, you should be like, dude, did I ask on that one? And if you didn't, fix it on the next one. Like the last thing you want to do is go the next 2 weeks and be the one that doesn't ask. Because someone in here, what I love about it, there's 70-something people in here now. There's going to be several people in here between now and the next time we have a training on this. Someone will be paid already, potentially. There will definitely be people finding deals, and so it's like, do you want it to be you? Would you like a check for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 grand between now and February 3rd? Like, how would that change the trajectory of your finances if we can turn some things around that quick? So go out there and start asking the question on appointments. Don't be afraid to make the mistake and keep it simple. Hey, we got this guy, John is a pro at it. He's gonna show you how the thing works. Can we just have an appointment next Tuesday at 6 or whatever it is? And fill out the form, let us know, and one of us will be in contact to confirm and set everything up. And Gavin will get on there and knock it out of the park and do what he does to help y'all make some extra money and be more profitable this year. Be fun stuff.
There you go.
Anything you want to add, bro? Did you see? Oh, someone asked. It's not. You answered the one thing, medical. Someone asked, I think, licensing. There's no license. There's also no license. You just need a life insurance license, Jennifer.
Life insurance license. And
you don't need any
medical
serious stuff. Hence the no risk.
Yeah.
Like we physically can't give them something that they can lose money, literally because we're not licensed to.
Yeah.
So makes it super simple. And you're welcome for the printout. If anything else you want to add, dude, before we roll, I'm good if you
don't. I think we're good. All right,
guys. Appreciate
Just get
your
out there,
time.
be active. It's not how the people that write the most annuities are not the people that know the most about them. It's the people who are the most active about finding the money.
Yeah. Nathan, I don't know the minimum, but I know I did one for like 15 grand once.
Yeah, the minimum is typically 10.
10, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Dig it. All right, guys, if we can help at all, let us know. Otherwise, those of y'all that shared, I appreciate you getting on and sharing with us and the group, and appreciate all the message y'all send. Later. I'll see y'all for the next one.